Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Today, we'll be talking something very important, and it's about the update going on right now. Now in the USA, you can protest Israel because they will send the police to arrest you, and you probably might be going to jail or something like that. And you cannot also boycott Israel, right? Because almost 37 states that like already have passed anti boycott laws and all that. And I am asking, why is it that the United States is so quick to make moves when it comes to Israel, and not quick to make any move when it comes to people that look like me? Because I don't know why they are protecting Israel and what they have been doing all this month, right? And think it is okay. This is absolutely not okay. I remember that they said that a war on Israel is a war on them. That actually made sense. But now they have passed anti-Semitic bill. This is to say you cannot do some certain things against Israel. And now I want us to really be very careful because you all know how they do their things. Our children, we are not safe. So make sure that you know where your kids are at a particular point in time to avoid some certain things. Now we are going to ask this. I'm asking this. Why is it that APOC are working so hard to cover up some certain things? You know what? Let's get into this.
Get this straight. In the US, you can't protest Israel because they'll send in police to arrest you. You can't boycott Israel because 37 states have passed anti-boycott laws protecting Israel. And soon enough, you won't be able to criticize Israel because US politicians are about to pass a law that redefines what anti-Semitism is, to include that criticizing the state of Israel is anti-Semitic. What the hell is going on? This is insane. People ask me why I've only talked about Israel and Palestine for the past 6 months. And my answer to that is, this is all American politics has become. Politicians have spent all of their time and energy over the past 6 months trying to protect Israel from its crimes. Everything they've done. The federal budget included dozens of things for Israel. They banned TikTok because of its pro-Palestinian influence. They're trying to redefine anti-Semitism. They've sent billions and billions of dollars to Israel. All of it, all the significant, notable things the US government has done in the past 6 months has been for Israel. America has become overrun by Zionism. Zionism is what's in our politicians' wallets. Zionism is who our politicians look to, who they serve when they go on their annual trips to Israel. Zionism has turned the American government into a monstrosity that doesn't care about what the American people think, that doesn't care about humanity. They only care about what will get them more money from AIPAC and the pro-Israel lobby. It's no coincidence that Mike Johnson is funded by AIPAC. He gave Israel billions of dollars. It's no coincidence that Mike Gallagher is funded by AIPAC. He banned TikTok. No coincidence that Mike Lawler is funded by AIPAC, and he's about to change the definition of anti-Semitism to shut down these college protests and silence criticism of Israel. It's no coincidence that Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio are funded by AIPAC. They backed the TikTok ban, saying that TikTok needs to be banned because it is anti-Israel. They said this in Congress. It's no coincidence that the President of the United States, Joe Biden, has taken over $5 million in AIPAC money. He has taken the most money of any politician from the pro-Israel lobby. Our democracy has been stolen from us. We need new politicians who care about humanity. We need new politicians who actually do things for the American people and don't waste all of their time and all of the US tax dollars arguing about the best way they can protect Israel from the consequences of their atrocities. Make sure you're following me on Instagram so you can continue hearing my messages in the future. Thank you, and free Palestine.
So, in a vote of 320 to 91, the United States House of Representatives just passed an anti-Semitism bill. Side note, the first anti-lynching bill was introduced in 1902, and it only took Congress 120 years to get around to it, but progress. Now, before we get into this bill, let's have a teachable moment on the word Semitic. Now, by definition, the word Semitic describes a group of languages, including Hebrew and Arabic, as well as the people who traditionally speak them. And you will see here the word Semitic is rooted in the biblical name Shem, the son of Noah, who is traditionally thought of as the direct ancestor of the Jews and Arabs. While the word is often thought of as another term for Jewish, this is just one of a larger group of people who fall into this category. As well as Arab and Hebrew, Semitic languages also include dozens of ancient languages like Phoenician and Aramaic, and modern languages such as Maltese. And before anybody tells me about what happened in Bucharest in 2016, I'm already familiar with what happened. On May the 26th, 2016, the 31 member countries of the International Holocaust Remembrance Association decided to adopt a non-legally binding working definition of anti-Semitism. And that non-binding working definition defines anti-Semitism as a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews, rhetoric and physical manifestation of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jews or non-Jewish individuals and or their property towards Jewish communities, institutes, and religious facilities. But I also want you to pay special attention to this, however, because however, criticism of Israel, similar to that leveled against any other country, cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. Now, back to our bipartisan bill that was passed today. Notice the changing that this bill includes. The definition of anti-Semitism would change to include denying Jews self-determination to their ancestral homeland of Israel. It would also include holding Jews collectively responsible for the action of the Israeli government. Take note, that would mean language used in certain protest chants on college campuses could be punishable under federal anti-discrimination law. Oh, but have no fear, you bigots, racists, and white supremacists. You can creatively put your kittens like this on social media or use that word in any capacity you would like towards black people. And your First Amendment freedom of speech is intact because there are no federal laws against it. Have the day you deserve.
This is what political power looks like. On yesterday, the House passed a bill to expand the definition of anti-Semitism amid what's going on college campuses all across the country. The proposed bill, which passed 320 to 91 with bipartisan support, would codify the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism in Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a federal anti-discrimination law that bars discrimination based on shared ancestry, ethnic characteristics, or national origin. The bill now goes on to the Senate, where it's uncertain if it'll pass the Senate. I guarantee you, people from the ADL like Jonathan Greenblatt and AIPAC, in the best interest of Israel, met with congressmen and women of the House on yesterday, and they negotiated, and they came up with that bill, and they passed it in the House. It is now on its way to the Senate. This is what political power looks like. This is the type of political power that black people don't have. You know why? Because black people don't vote regularly. It's not just about the dollars. It's not just about the dollars. It's black people as a collective using their voting power, not just for presidential elections, but elections in the midterm, all elections. And we don't do that. We don't show up regularly, and we don't show up consistently. That makes our political power sporadic. That's why it is so hard for us to get things passed in the House and in the Senate. I'm not saying that money doesn't play a big role. I am not saying that at all, because we know that the ADL and AIPAC have huge budgets backing them. We know that they are paying our congressmen and women to pass laws and bills that benefit them. We know that because we can look up our congressmen and women's donations to see who donated what and how much. Because we aren't rolling like that financially, the next best thing for us is to use our voting power, and we don't. We don't. Here's the definition of anti-Semitism that bill is referring to. Anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed toward Jewish or non-Jewish individuals, and or their property toward Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. I've done a video talking about how many of us are recognizing that basically critiquing Jewish institutions, the Israeli government, Jewish people in general, that equates to anti-Semitism these days. Anything you say that is negative, it is considered anti-Semitism. And in that video, I went down the list and provided examples of what anti-Semitism is now considered. This article that this bill is referring to also provided examples. Here they are. Here's page 1. Here's page 2. Here's page 3. And here's page 4. Like I said, the bill has gone on to the Senate. We don't know what the Senate is going to do. If the Senate signs off on it and passes it, it will then go to the president's desk. Let me tell you, in my opinion, this is not going to make things better. This will make things worse. In my opinion, this bill is being used to silence individuals who are fairly critiquing the Israeli government. And this bill is doing nothing more than trying to silence those critiques, which in my opinion tampers on an individual's First Amendment rights. And that will only lead to more violence. That's my opinion. Now, I know a lot of my black people are going to come over and say everybody gets some type of protection bill, but what about black people? What happened to the George Floyd Policing Act? Here's what happened to the George Floyd Policing Act. H.R. 1280 is the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act of 2021. It was introduced by Representative Karen Bass. Okay, you can go over to congress.gov and look this bill up yourself. The bill was introduced, it went through all of the rigmarole, and the House passed the bill. They signed off on the bill, they passed the bill. It then went on to the Senate. And you see that first line down there that says March 9th, 2021, Chamber, Senate, actions received in the Senate. Nothing happened after it was received in the Senate. there was some negotiations that took place. Negotiations took place between the Democrats and the Republicans. Tim Scott represented the Republicans. Cory Booker represented the Democrats. Tim Scott and the Republicans pretty much deaded the bill. And so it still sits in the Senate. Why was the bill deaded? Because Tim Scott is crawling up Lindsey Graham's ass and Donald Trump's ass. Here's what Donald Trump thought about the bill. Then President Donald Trump opposed the bill. He issued a formal pledge to veto the legislation if it passed Congress, and contending that the bill is overbroad and would weaken the ability of law enforcement agencies to reduce crime. Trump specifically opposed proposal to restrict qualified immunity. So the Republicans fell in line, led by Tim Scott. They killed the bill. And now Donald Trump is running for president, and one of his promises is to indemnify the police.
Crazy. We will, very importantly, restore law and order to our country, and I'm going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime.
Donald Trump becoming president of the United States and indemnifying the police scares me. It puts me in the thinking of the slave patrol, the 1800 slave patrol. We have political power. We just don't use it. We have got to recognize our political power and use it. We certainly have to stop Donald Trump from getting back in the White House, but we have 435 seats up for grabs in the House and the Senate. We have to vote these monsters out. That's how we start to get our political power.
News, the U.S. House has just passed H.R. 6090, which expands the definition of anti-Semitism to include any criticism of the state of Israel. This is an unprecedented bill that will absolutely have a chilling effect on free speech, especially on college campuses where they are protesting peacefully Israel's war on Gaza. Never before have we ever passed a bill that makes criticism of a state government illegal. And the reason is obvious. Individual people have rights. Governments do not have rights. And this is not just my opinion. Leading members of Congress, like Representative Jerry Nadler, a Jewish American, openly condemned this bill and voted against it. Anti-Semitism is absolutely a scourge that must be condemned in the strongest possible terms, because anti-Semitism is a hatred of Jewish people, and Jewish people as human beings have equal rights and deserve safety and protection in who they are. But to criminalize the criticism of a state entity is extraordinarily dangerous precedent. By the same logic, you could criminalize criticism of Pakistan because it's the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, or of Iran because it's the Islamic Republic of Iran. Obviously, neither withstands scrutiny, neither makes any sense whatsoever. Similarly, criminalizing the criticism of the state of Israel makes zero sense whatsoever, because the state of Israel is a government, it is not a person. The bill has not yet passed the Senate and has not yet been signed into law. It is critical that we remain active and organized and ask our senators and the president to not make this a law.
Whoa, now I was saying with y'all like to check this out. Here we go again. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Breaking news, I guess. I've been telling y'all to Pe0ple, man. See, they've been having protests for months. Nobody ain't really just been saying anything about it because they've been having everybody distracted with all the bullshit that's going on in the world, right? So they just let this shit build up much as they can. So they let it spread on these college campuses. And then they was like, bingo, we got it. Now we can roll the big play out on them. And they rolled that bill out on them. And I also knew when I seen Benjamin Netanyahu get his ass on TV and say, what's going on those college campuses will not be tolerated. And it shouldn't be happening over there. I was like, okay, yeah, I see what they getting ready to do, and they rolled it out, right? So let's see. You have an Asian bill, right? Now you have a Jewish bill. Where's the bill for the black folks? Where's the bill, Biden? What you promised that you was gonna put out for black folks? From harassment, police brutality, you know what I'm saying? Racial, calling people names and shit. All type of things what black folks been going through over in the United States. Not one fucking bill. But a lot of y'all will goddamn go to war about him. You'll go to war about him. And he don't give a damn about y'all. You see what I'm saying? They'll pay some shit for some other people for a drop of a dime. It won't give you nothing. Nothing. So now, this shit gonna go deep. This shit gonna get deeper than this. You got folks, whether they right or wrong, if you open your mouth and say anything, your ass going to jail and you finna get some motherfucking crime put on your ass. No matter what you see or what they doing over there. We know, man, look at here, boy. I'm telling you, a lot of folks, man, you better pay attention and watch out, man. I told y'all, 2024 gonna be a year like you never seen before. These folk doing some wild, wicked, dirty ass shit out here, man. They are. All you gotta do is just watch this, man. They in 2024, from the top of the year to where we at right now, they've been passing bills damn near every fucking week. If you ain't been paying attention, they writing the plays as they go. Boy, we got trouble knocking at the door, I'm telling you. We got trouble knocking at the door, people. Keep your head on the swivel and pay attention to what's going on, because you're going to have more worse days.
So this is all I got from this, and it's kind of becoming very scary that every time we wake up to different bills and all that. And the fact that they are working so hard to protect every other person, but black people are not being protected. I cannot see, like, even Crown Act, it's kind of hard for them to sign Crown Act, to put Crown Act, like, as something that can be recognized, like, so black people can wear their natural hair without being discriminated and all that. Was it not just yesterday, how many years ago? And in some places like Texas and some other places, it's still like, the bill has not been passed and all that. And it's really very sad. I mean, now there is no more freedom of, okay, like freedom of speech. Is there really freedom of speech? I mean, but is there freedom of speech? But freedom after the speech is something that is not guaranteed, Now let's get into this, because I'm just like, now this is just to tell you that the government is like already very, very corrupt as it stands, and somehow it's kind of bigger and rate deceased and the rest of it. Freedom of speech is under attack from conservative Republicans. Like, I really don't know why all of these are happening, but I don't think it's new or something we did not see coming, because, I mean, for how many months, a lot of people really, like, woke up to so many things going on, especially Israel, Congo, Palestine, and other things going on. So a lot of people are completely woke. And if you all know what has been going on, if you've been following this news and all that, you definitely will understand what has been going on. It's really very kind of sad that, I mean, black people are always at the receiving end. You get to see APAC and all that. The lobby are working so hard to make sure that, like, everything is all covered up. From beginning to end, the bribe and corruption that has been going on, the lobby, like they've been doing since all this war, is something that is kind of, and I keep asking, how come is it now United States of Israel? Because I keep asking, how did they get all this power? Because for somebody to be able to penetrate government, I mean, it means a lot of things, or kind of, and if you know what has been going on towards them and all that, especially when it comes to your taxes and all that being moved and forwarded to them and all that. And I think that bill is just something that I don't know, but it's really crazy how they are always able to criticize people that look like me and every other person, but you cannot even say anything, to them, and then it is anti-Semitic. And the way they go around it and they go about it is just something that I really do not understand. And this is probably the second bill or something that has been passed on, like, really, Zionists are just, I don't know, but like, they are just really mean and all that. I think this is the second bill because one has really been passed before, and all these bills are just not something that is favoring you, and all these bills are just to protect colored people, nothing more. And United States, the way they support Israel to further its military agenda of funnel, funneling billions of dollars, or yeah, billions of dollars into their system and all that to make some certain thing. It's just really something. Sometimes I feel like it's somebody is being manipulated, but I don't think it's somebody is being manipulated, because he actually made it clear that a war on Israel is a war on the United States. So most times when I see some certain things happening, I don't feel, or I don't think anybody's being manipulated. I think it's just something that they already doing without looking back. And I don't know why every other person, or just, it is so easy for every other person to get some certain things done, or it's just easy for them to favor every other person. But people that look like me do not have any law, protecting them from some racial slurs and all that, their rights and the rest of it. That's why sometimes you look at what has been going on or what is going on in Black community. All I can do is just wave my head, because I see how the system is standing so strong against people that look like me. And that is something that we are trying so hard to break, because that is a barrier that must really be broken. And I keep asking this, how did it? Israel is just, should I say, I'm trying so hard to be mind my words, but it's kind of really mean how they go around all this, and how they are able to manipulate or penetrate so many places, especially APAC, and the bribe that has gone into all this. And also they feel like there is freedom, a lot has been tampered, if you know what I am saying. So they are in kind of a little bit threatened, because they see like everybody, all eyes are on them. A lot of people already know what is going on, and people are beginning to understand, because this has been like the first time a lot of people saw so many things going on through social media. Because excuse me, all this while people have I think the media they've been protecting them so bad that they really did a great job with protecting them. But now, the media, the PR is not even working at all, because a lot of people are woke. A lot of people were able to see through what they've been doing and the rest of it. And they are really very worried about all this happening. That's why they are trying so hard to cover up some certain things. But how long are they going to keep covering this? Keep banning so many things, keep removing so many things and the rest of it. But then it is what it is. You all can see that we are we really have to be very careful and do what we are supposed to do. But I want you all to know that these people really do not have our interests at heart or anything. They do not. What can we do to stop some certain thing? We just really do have to come together, uniting and standing with one another. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.